which logos are looking great and which logos need a do-over. Starting out with Twitch, I'm going to put Twitch in the A tier. This definitely gives gamer vibes. Maybe not purple. Maybe you could have gone with a different color, but overall, I like the logo. It's not super complicated. It gives me tech vibes, and I think the color scheme is pretty solid. Argos. Now, I'm going to be honest. Some of these logos, I'm not even familiar with the company, but this feels like kind of a standard run-of-the-mill, basic, white letters, red background. We got a little smiley face under it. I'm going to go C tier, even though I'm not familiar with the company. Now, I think this is something in Decker, Black & Decker. Not sure, but the fact that I can't even read it, if we put it in the square, number one thing you learn in logo school that I found was you need to be able to downsize the logo. So you need to have a logo for a YouTube banner. You need to have a logo for a billboard. You need to have a logo for every different size. And the fact that there's not even a logo that's square for you, and we're not even totally sure what you are. And also, we got 2 lines. I mean, this looks ridiculous. We're going to go F. Actually, F- is probably more appropriate. Now, Jack in the Box is pretty solid. Jack is literally in the box, so it's pretty catchy. Maybe the in the box is, you got to have it because that's the name of the company, but feels a little tacky to have it underneath. I don't know how you could have done it better. I do like it though. It's definitely a B tier. We got Pepsi. It's pretty iconic. Look, the literal circle logo, and as I was mentioning with what I believe is Black & Decker, or Decker, whatever, who cares? With Pepsi, just a little circle doesn't really give, with Apple, for example, which I don't believe is on this list, but with Apple, it's an apple. With Pepsi, it's like, what is the red, white, and blue? I know it symbolizes Pepsi, but really, what is it? It's a good logo. I don't think it's great. Popeyes, I'm going to put them in D tier. I think the literal design is okay. I'm just not a big fan of the color scheme. I think they could have done better with maybe an orange and a yellow. The orange and black, I don't know. Maybe orange and yellow just feels more like a Popeyes to me. Starbucks, I think Starbucks is definitely A tier as well. This gives their vibe. This gives their vibe. The color scheme is cool. Just makes sense. And this is what their customer looks like. It's a white woman with crazy hair. TGI Fridays, it's all right. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's nothing spectacular, but as kind of a cheaper sit down restaurant, it's not super expensive. It's fine. It's fun. Now I don't even know what this is. It's some sort of diamond. I've got no clue what this is. We're gonna go F minus because I literally, if you showed this to the random person, and I am the random person, you'd have no clue what this is. And we got, I don't know what this is either, and I know it's a square, so they're cutting them off, but Airbnb D tier. Look, there's nothing wrong with it, but maybe you could have done something with one of these letters that signifies a home. I don't know specifically what you should do better, but it feels kind of bland. It doesn't get me super excited. Now, this is Apple, as we've mentioned. I think Apple is it's an A tier. You can't put it S tier because it's a little too simplistic, but it's an A tier for sure. Now, Best Buy, you gotta go B tier. Obviously, you can see the price tag here. It's simple. It's a tech company. You don't want to be doing anything too creative because they're selling new technology. They're not trying to make you feel stuff. They're trying to get you some electronics. BMW, I'm going to go F tier. This is the rebranded logo. Look, when you're a luxury company, I don't really think rebranding makes all that much sense. And you should have kept it. BT, I don't know what this is. This is for Bitcoin. I don't think it's for Bitcoin because it's BCT. We're gonna go F minus. I mean, this looks disgusting. Burger King is an A tier. Look, a lot of these companies that rebrand it gets worse. I think Burger King stayed about the same. This looks cool. You got the burger. You got the Burger King. It looks fun. CIA. I did not know CIA was selling anything, so definitely looks mysterious. We'll put it in the C tier. Comedy Central. I don't really fully understand the point. I mean, I know you've got this. If you flip it upside down, you've got Central. I don't really get it, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna put a D tier. Maybe somebody else could explain to me. Domino's. I'm gonna go B tier. You know, it's standard stuff. Yeah. eBay. eBay is we're gonna go. You know, we'll go B tier, although it's not really signifying anything, and that's kind of something I don't like. We put Jack in the Box here. Jack in the Box doesn't signify a restaurant, unless that box is supposed to be the restaurant, but I don't think so. We'll put eBay here. It's just so iconic. You can't really doubt it. You can't hate it. Fanta looks a little too childish. Maybe we'll go D tier. Yeah, it just looks like, you know, they're trying to sell to you for like some middle school Super Bowl party. They're like, yeah, we'll get you Fanta. It doesn't even look serious. GM. We'll go C tier. I don't know. This looks like something I could make on Fonton. Instagram. The old logo, we'll go B tier. We'll go B tier. You know, you can tell it's a camera. It kind of makes sense. Google, same camp as eBay. You know, they're both iconic. They kind of copied each other's scheme here with the... Did they go in the same order? No, they didn't go in the same order. We've got Pizza Hut. I think Pizza Hut is in camp with Domino's. It's supposed to be a pizza and a sauce, I believe. We've got... what are the good ones? I think Taco Bell is S tier. I think Taco Bell's S tier. I mean, that logo makes sense. It fits. Kia, I'm gonna go C tier. It's kind of like a C plus. You know, it looks cool. It gives them more that luxury car feel. Well, not really luxury car, but a little bit better than what we believed before. And Paramount, I think Paramount's also an S tier. I mean, this looks awesome. Netflix, it is. We'll go B tier once again. It's iconic. It's not super exciting, but you get a special feeling when you see it. And we've got Volkswagen. If we can get it up here, pretty standard. I mean, this doesn't get me super excited. Nissan, once again, kind of similar with Kia. They rebranded. We'll put all the car brands in here. You know, Kia and Nissan is really trying to make themselves seem more official. And we've got Pfizer. Now, I don't really know why people that sell life-saving medication should be advertising. This seems a little odd. Weight Watchers, we're going to put in F-. Look, you could have done way, way, way better than WW. Like, serious. You should have... What you should do is you need to have a one of those things that has sand on both sides. I'm blanking on the name of it, but you need to have something with sand on both sides that's tilted sideways. It has a W coming out of it, and then sand pouring out of a broken crack on the corner of it, and that would signify you losing weight. And maybe even, you know, Weight Watchers, maybe you even have glasses. Like, you've got somebody in the distance looking at the broken, you know, vase or whatever. You get the point. YouTube. YouTube gives me Netflix vibes. You know, they're both iconic. And Facebook is now Meta, so new logo. We'll just put them in F- because they're not even really existing at this point. What else do we have? We have Warner Brothers. I think this one is also an S tier. Both of the film productions are pretty highly rated for me. Pringles looks super dope. I don't like Pringles myself, but that looks pretty cool. And that is it.